California Governor Gavin Newsom gets some really bad news this week, just as he's about to restart his campaign for the 11th time for president. Plus, Newsom is threatening to redraw the lines of California congressional districts. It's called gerrymandering. Can he get away with it? Well, we're fighting back. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative. We've got two stories relating to Gavin Newsom. This week, he's getting some really bad news, and it comes just as he's gearing up a new incarnation of his campaign for president. He's like Madonna, constantly reinventing himself. For those of you from the 1980s, you probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he likes to brag that California is the fourth largest economy in the world. Well, you can always cherry pick a specific statistic, but it's like saying that somebody who still has a pulse is healthy, that they're absolutely amazingly healthy and they can run a marathon. No, there could be a lot of bad things happening in their health, and they could drop dead at any moment. California's overall GDP, not as important as what is the prosperity rate, what is the poverty rate, what is the competitiveness rate. We have a very, very sick economy out here in the state of California. And as much as Newsom loves to brag about being the fourth largest economy in the world measured by GDP, other stats tell a totally different story. The latest smack of reality is this one from CNBC. They have a ranking methodology for the top states for business, and they do this every year. And by the way, CNBC is not a conservative outlet. It's a liberal outlet. But even they have to admit that the blue states are not doing very well. Florida is number one for overall economy. Texas is number two. North Carolina, number three. Sense a pattern there. Where is California? Oh, let's see. Scrolling down. Oh, there she is. California is 22nd. 22nd. And so let's take a look at where we've got the sub levels. For the economy, California is number 12 overall, not number 4, not the best. For infrastructure, California is number 25. How about for workforce? 20th. Again, we have failing schools, and that doesn't do well for your economy if the workers don't have the skill sets they need. Let's take a look at this next one, which is real important for the economy. Cost of doing business. Under that category, California is 40th. Cost of doing business in the bottom 20%. Gets worse. What's number 48? They're number 48 for business friendliness. By golly, they're working to get number 50. 48th out of 50 states for business friendliness. Hey, Gavin Newsom, it's time for you to shut up and sit down. Yeah, you're like the guy that failed out of college, showing up at graduation, demanding to give the valedictorian speech. You have no credibility. It's humiliating, dude. Just stop talking. But this guy's a liar, and so he thinks somehow he can advance. Quality of life and technology is where California comes in. Quality of life is 32nd, not very good because of crime and grime, the homelessness problem. But for number one, it's California's technology base, and government didn't do that. Okay, that's the entrepreneurs that live out here. That's Silicon Valley. All these other things where government has the lead role, California's not doing well at all. But for the saving grace of our entrepreneurs, which again, Newsom gets should have no ability to take any credit for, California is doing a very dismal, poor job of governing its economic affairs. So that's the CNBC scorecard. You won't see him touting that. No. I did see a tweet earlier about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis bragging about how well his state did in the rankings, even though, again, CNBC tends to be a left-leaning media enterprise. I'm going to get to the issue of redistricting in just a moment, but I want to remind you, it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to get lying constantly from the governor and no accountability by California's liberal media. We don't have to have a Democrat supermajority in this state. We can actually rise up and take back our state, put it back on the right track. But if you're waiting for the California Republican Party to do that, ain't going to happen. They are a dumpster fire of incompetence and corruption. I don't expect a damn thing from them in terms of leadership. Instead, this has to be a grassroots movement. That's where Reform California comes in. I'm inviting you to join the fight. Go to that website. We have our news division with all sorts of stories on what's really going on in California news and politics. You can share those stories to help educate voters in your area. But please go to the bottom of that website and join the fight. If you're not signed up, you're not tethered into our growing movement. You're not going to get the updates on what's going on with candidates that we're recruiting in your area, everywhere from school board to city council, all the way up to state house and Congress. We want to get you the information on what's happening in your neck of the woods. So sign up and stay informed. At the bottom of the website, first name, last name, email, phone, and zip code, and you're in. Another way you can help us for free, like this channel, like this video, subscribe to this channel, helps us break through the algorithm and spread the word for this podcast each and every day. And finally, please do consider chipping in a contribution. We can't do any of this work, whether it's producing this podcast each day or recruiting and supporting and training and endorsing candidates for office. Can't do that without your help. We also have our California Voter ID initiative coming up, and we need your help with that effort as well. I want to cover one other topic, and that is Gavin Newsom is now threatening to cook the books, to gerrymander districts in the state of California. So every 10 years, we have the census in America. It updates us on population. And then, of course, we're supposed to take the census and use that to make sure that our assembly districts, our state senate districts, our congressional districts have equal population. It's the reapportionment process and redistricting. So we draw lines. It should not be done politically. We shouldn't have the politicians choosing the voters. The voters should choose the politicians. But what happens, and this happens, both parties do this, okay? Let's be clear. Democrats do it. Republicans do it if they can get away with it. There's a redistricting process where they get to draw the lines. And gerrymandering is packing in certain voting groups into one district, even if they don't have anything in common. So you'll find these lines where a district will zig and zag and make no sense, cutting across boundaries and geography and breaking up cities and communities, all because they're trying to scoop in certain types of voters living in little pockets here and there. It's unethical. It should be illegal. And it certainly doesn't give good representation. People feel like, okay, the system is rigged against us. So I like the idea of what California did 20 years ago, and that is we went to an independent citizens redistricting commission. Now, it's still contaminated. The model itself is not the problem. It's how the people are appointed, and we're going to have a separate news story on how to fix redistricting in California in terms of making it truly independent. But the point being, California voters voted to do redistricting once every 10 years through an independent citizens commission. And so the governor has no role. Okay, he has no input, no role. He shouldn't. The legislature shouldn't have any role. It should be done by this citizens commission. How are the commissioners selected? Well, the auditor of the state of California interviews a bunch of people who submit their names, and then there's a random process, and then both the Assembly and the state Senate, Democrats and Republicans, can challenge and take names off the list. So there's a process. Sadly, the Democrats ran an illegitimate stacking operation to get a bunch of Democrat plants to pretend like they were Republicans and apply for the commission, and we got a really crappy commission as a result. Be that as it may. This map that we have in California actually is competitive because Republicans are becoming more competitive as Latino voters in particular move away from Democrat Party. So the map we have right now, while it's unfair, is actually still quite competitive just because voters have changed. Back to this story. In Texas, the Republicans who call the shots in that state, it's the red state, they're looking at redrawing the congressional map to give Republicans an edge in Texas. Now, I am not going into the details of why they're redrawing their map. It's clear that they think that the Republicans will benefit. There may be a legitimate reason why the last round of maps were not good. I probably doubt it. But again, they're saying maybe in Texas they want to redraw their map. Here's the difference. In Texas, it's legal for them to redraw their map. In California, it's not legal. It's not legal because it's supposed to be done once every 10 years by a citizens commission, one and done, okay? But now Newsom is saying, well, if Texas redraws its map for the benefit of Republican seats, we're going to redraw California's map for the benefit of Democrat seats. Again, this is wrong in two ways. Number one, it's not his right or legal ability to redraw the map, but he'll probably find a way to do it by hook or crook. And number two, it just exposes, he's saying, oh yeah, someone's cheating over there, I'm going to cheat too. Really? Nice admission, Governor. You're saying the quiet part out loud, are we? We cannot allow this to happen. And so, as I mentioned, I believe that the last round of redistricting was illegitimately infiltrated by the Democrats. And we have the receipts on that. There's stuff coming out on that process. Oh, we have not forgotten. We've been on, Doge California has been working on a lot of different things, one of which is exposing the corruption in the redistricting process. Politicians paid taxpayer money for phony groups to show up and manipulate maps in the state of California, and we have the proof of that. More on that in due course. But what we're expecting will happen is that Newsom will actually go to those commissioners who still are technically in office. They are in office for 10 years. Okay, 10-year, commission role. They don't do much after the maps are written, but they're still technically the commissioners, and they come back and hold oversight hearings and give recommendations to the incoming commission. Don't be surprised if Governor Gavin Newsom reconvenes the commission to redraft the maps. And then at that point, we're going to have to file a lawsuit. And at that point, we're going to have to alert voters and make it an election issue. Because, again, this is nothing but illegitimate stacking the deck. And this is not something that should be tolerated on either side. I'm being very fair about this. Shouldn't be tolerated on either side. I think maps should reflect natural boundaries, natural constituencies, not break up communities of interest. But that's not what we're seeing play out here. So Gavin Newsom saying the quiet part out loud that he wants to stack the deck, he wants to manipulate, which is the corruption of politics. And he epitomizes it. I need your help at Reform California. We're fighting the fight to take back our state from the far left insanity. Go on the website, reformcalifornia.org, chip in a contribution, and as I mentioned, sign up at the bottom of that website so you're tethered into the growing movement to take back the state. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.